Hey friend, it's Emily here from Table Life Blog, and today I want to talk to you for just a moment about introducing Shakespeare through graphic novels. Now, I don't know about you, but when I read Shakespeare for the first time, it wasn't because I wanted to. It was because he showed up on my required reading list and I had a test I needed to get through. So I just did the best I could. I got through the test and I was just trying to move on to another day. I certainly wasn't excited about learning more about Shakespeare, reading more of his work, or anything like that. I was just doing what I had to do. Now, I wanted it to be different for this kid. I wanted him to explore Shakespeare and be introduced in a way that was comfortable for him, in a way that was fun and engaging. So that's what we have done. We got some super cool graphic novels from Candlewick Press, and we've used these to introduce Shakespeare. So I'm going to let you hear from him what he thinks about this, and then I'll tell you more about the novels we received. Okay, so what are your thoughts about this?
Well, I thought it was cool having illustrations, especially for Macbeth, because there were moments in it where it would be hard to grasp if you did not have the illustrations there. And I will tell you this: if I was reading Shakespeare as like a play, let's just say I would be in Storesville, and I probably would. It'd be work if I had to read it, like for school.
Okay, so you can scoot. Thank you. So you heard it from him. Without the illustrations, he would be in Snoresville and it would be work, right? So, okay, there you have it. So basically, what he is saying is that these plays are certainly not written in a language that he is used to speaking today. So having the illustrations, having these comic panels to help connect all the dots between the text and what's actually going on. That was super helpful for him. And you know what? It kept him wanting to read more. He didn't just stop with one. So he started with King Lear, then he read Romeo and Juliet, and then he read Macbeth. And we've got The Merchant of Venice on the shelf too, but we're going to hold off on it for a little bit just because the content is a little more mature than he is ready for. But we've got it ready and waiting for us as soon as he's ready. Now, I do want to show you Romeo and Juliet, though, simply because you're probably familiar with it. So let's take a look at it and let's compare what it would be like to see Shakespeare the first time through this lens versus the lens you probably used when you were introduced, okay? So here is Romeo and Juliet in graphic novel form from Gareth Hines and Candlewick Press. Okay, so you've got the cover, you've got Romeo, and you've got Juliet. And you can tell they're looking at each other, but they shouldn't be because, you know what, their family has all kinds of drama, right? Well, you know that, but let's flip through and look at the actual pages, okay? So you've got all of this action, lots of detail, lots of color. Guys, I saw how this was actually drawn. It's a super cool video. I was really blown away to see how these are created. Gareth Hines is amazing. But yeah, so you flip through and you see all of the work he has put into these, and it really is Romeo and Juliet in comic book form. It is super cool, and it's such a different way to be introduced to Shakespeare's work. I do want to show you one specific part, just because you're familiar with it and you need to see it this way, okay? And so here, you've got Juliet quite distressed, and so she's even doing her classic, "Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name. Or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet." Right? You know that line. You know that part of Romeo and Juliet. And I wanted to show it to you here just to show you that, hey, it's all here. Now, yeah, the books are abridged, but that was simply to make them work with the formatting of graphic novels. But there are notes in the back that explain what was removed, why, and, just to kind of help you, draw your own comparisons from your own experiences with Shakespeare to what you're reading here in the graphic novel. Another thing I really loved here is that Gareth Hines himself really encourages for your readers to be just using this as a starting point. He encourages you, have them introduce them to the plays, get them out there watching those plays, reading more, and let this just be either an accent point to what you've already learned or a great introduction. I want to encourage you, go check these out. Once again, they're from Gareth Hines, and they are all published by Candlewick Press, and you will love adding them to your homeschool shelves. I promise you, it's a great, great way to help connect those dots and see Shakespeare in a whole new light. That's it for me today. I'll see you again soon, but until then, happy homeschooling.